Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the whoops. Oh, that almost went sideways. Welcome back to rumble.com/JJW. I am your ever-present titular host, JJW. And we join you every morning, Monday through Friday at 6:30 to drink coffee and talk about the news, talk about politics, talk about culture, pop culture, movies. My God, what a day we had yesterday. But before we talk about that, let's check on Deacon. Deacon remains invisible today. Jordan says he's been waiting 6 hours for us. Good morning, Jordan. Good morning, Dragoon Knight. Good morning. And good morning, Mr. Eads. Nice to talk to you again. Deacon, you wouldn't believe it. Oh my God. He's having a bad one. Deacon, it's Friday. It's almost the end of the week. You're almost done.
I never have a good morning when I wake up. It's very rare. Like there's always something.
I know.
You don't want to know what happened to me this morning, y'all. I don't want that shit. So yes, I did not have I had a very productive morning stomach wise, but other than that,
that's been thank you for that.
Yeah,
I heard. Oh boy, I didn't hear anything. I was about to just make up some shit. Like, hey, it couldn't be worse than let me just make something up. And then sometimes I ask Deacon, he's like, oh yeah, I actually had a fire. Like, whoa, oh my God. So yeah, it's been a rough week. So Deacon, you may not know that. So Jordan, first of all, Jordan commented. He just said he had to start work at 12 in the morning, like 6 hours ago. He's been waiting for us. So we need to make this worthwhile. Some of our listeners have been waiting for us.
I apologize in advance.
I'm going to overpromise right now. It's going to be such a great show.
Damn it, JJ.
There's no way you will be disappointed. Okay. All right. So I want to mention this before we get going too much, because we obviously have to talk about McCarthy and his McSpeaker bid. Yesterday on the way to my office, I was listening to Tim Pool or whatever, and Tim was doing something different. He was, instead of a cut show, he was just doing a live show, and I was like, hey man, that's my thing. And in the morning, and on the drive to work, I was like, I know that there's going to be probably like 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of like boring speaker floor votes to see who will become Speaker of the House, and I know it's not going to go anywhere, but it's going to be on C-SPAN. It's going to be boring, and it's going to have the attention of America. So why don't I just turn my camera on and stream the whole thing? And I convinced Mr. E and Brian to come hang out with me, and for a couple of hours they were hanging out, and we were watching like floor votes and just talking stuff. Deacon, I streamed for 6 hours, and we had 190 people watching over the course of the 6 hours. Yeah, I was shocked by the end. I was like, oh my God. At about 3 hours, I was like, let me just cut this. Obviously, nothing's happening. And then I started checking, and there were like 15 people watching at the same time. And I was like, what's going on right now? So we had like, our silly show had like a massive day. So I was just rolling with it.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, right. So I feel pretty good about it, Let me pull up our stories. How was your day yesterday?
Peachy keen.
Oh, the best. It's the best. I'm so glad when it's the best.
Super awesome yesterday. Actually, last night, Ashley was super busy. She has had a very problem customer. I'm just going to call them very problem client.
To remind everybody, she's in real estate, right?
Yeah. Yes, yeah. She's had a problem client, and she's just a professional. Ashley is much more of a professional than I am. Like much more. I will give you.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. I would have already. I told her like years ago. I was listening to a call she had on speaker, and she was talking to this person, and this person was bat crap crazy. You could tell. And Ashley's just the most professional, but she's holding her own. She's standing her ground, but she is super professional and super pleasant about it. And I'm like, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you do that because I would have already been like, look, bitch, you can go to hell and you can take 3 rights to get there. I don't have the patience for I don't suffer fools very well.
Mm.
And so last night she was super busy. Super busy. So me and the kids, the Kendra was like, "You can we go to Goodwill?" She loves to go to Goodwill and just go through the
Yeah.
stuff. And I looked at Alex, I'm like, "You wanna go to Goodwill?" He's like, "Sure." So we just had a little roundabout town last night. We went to Goodwill and we went to Five Below and we went to a couple other places, and she wanted one meal and he wanted another meal and I wanted something else. So we went to 3 different places.
Oh my gosh.
We just had like it was just a little fun time to give Ashley some time at home, by
That's
herself so
great.
that she can get some stuff done.
That's
So it
great.
was it was a
If you can't go one place and make everybody happy, just go lots of places.
I'm cool. I'm
Just
not one of
take
those.
turns.
My mom used to say it all the time. My mom wasn't real mean about it or anything, but she's like, "I'm making one meal and y'all are gonna eat it. I'm not making 15 meals for everybody."
Right.
And we
Wow.
usually don't do that, but last night was fun. Alex didn't want Taco Bell. Kendra wanted Taco Bell. He's like, "Ah, man, I'm not feeling it." I was like, "I'm with you. I'm really not feeling it either." But she wants it. So I'm gonna go get it for her. And he's like, "Can we go cookout?" And I went and got him cookout. I went to Captain D's, which was a big mistake at 5:30
Wait,
this morning.
is Cookout a restaurant? I've never heard of a
Oh,
franchise
you don't
called
have a
Cookout.
franchise called a Cookout.
No,
Okay, so
no, sir.
these are around some places. Let me see if I can find
I never heard of that.
let me see
Good
if I
morning,
can
guys, in chat. And there's Mr. E. He's here too. And let me check the Rumble chats.
Rumble,
There's
Rumble.
Brian.
This what's up,
Good
Brian?
morning, everybody. I'm so happy
Okay.
everybody's
So
here.
this is Cookout, JJ.
Oh,
They
okay.
they cook like on a freaking it tastes like a charcoal burger. It tastes like
Yeah.
somebody is cooking on a freaking and they have
Oh, hold
milkshakes
on.
and
I like that 50s diner style.
well,
That's
it's not
cool.
really 50s diner on the inside, but they
Oh,
have
okay.
hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff like that, but it's cooked on like a grill. It's or like it's not charcoal, but it tastes like charcoal,
Yeah.
you know? And
Uh,
it's not crazy expensive. Okay. So you get a little this is what I got for Alex last night. All right, I'm gonna point to it. He got the big double cheeseburger here. The big
uh-huh.
double cheeseburger. Then you get 2 sides. So he got a corn dog and french fries. And I got him, instead of a drink, I got him a banana milkshake, all for this growing 15-year-old boy.
Yeah.
$10. $10.
That's not too
That's
bad at
not
today's
bad at
prices.
all.
Not
Double
at all.
cheeseburger, corn dog, french fries, and a milkshake, and it wasn't a
And
small milkshake.
a corn dog is a side? I thought corn
Corn
dog
dog is
was
a
like
side.
like a meal. That was like the
This is a
partner.
really nice little restaurant. If y'all don't have those in Texas, this might be actually an excellent franchise idea, man. They're really
Maybe.
good. I mean, it's really good. Cookout. It's just called Cookout. And
Mm.
this one stays busy because when
Mm.
Alex said Cookout last night, me and Kendrick just kind of about said the same thing at the same time. It was like if the line is not out to the road, because normally
Right.
the line is out to where it's blocking the 2-lane road. You have to get into the other lane to pass because there's cars just
Yeah.
going to the Cookout. It's a good restaurant. Yeah, if the next time you see one, if
Yeah.
you're somewhere and
I've
you
never
see a
seen one.
Cookout, yeah,
You
it's
know,
not bad.
we only recently in I live more or less in the woodlands in Texas, which it doesn't mean anything to anybody that's not here, but Woodlands is sort of like a master planned like community, whatever. I live across the street from the Woodlands, we'll say, but that's pretty much where we go. And we only recently just got an in and out, and I don't do burgers, I don't really do beef. So, but I know that In and Out is a big franchise that is all over the place that
We
people
don't
like
have those around here.
really dig.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, other than that, I mean, we don't really go out to eat all that often. And when we do, it's very often either TGF Fridays or El Mariachis, or something like that. Although we did something different for a date night a week or two ago. because we like to go to places we've never been to before, and that's one of the few perks of living in a urban or semi-urban environment is that
Right.
there's a lot of choices as
Right.
opposed to when I lived in a way more rural area
As
where there'd be
opposed to
like
me.
2 restaurants.
As opposed to me.
Yeah,
At
right.
night, it's like I can name the 6 or 7 restaurants that I have that
Yeah,
we have to choose
yeah,
from, and that's it, unless we wanna drive,
and
like, 30 miles one direction.
and you have an annual startup that eventually folds, right? Yeah, maybe.
Mhm.
You have, oh, we got a new restaurant, and then like
Hey, and
I
it's
couldn't
there
get
for
into
a year.
business, and it's out.
Yeah, 2 years, and it's gone.
So a week or two ago, we went to this place called Uncle Julio's. Oh my
Ooh,
god,
okay, that's got a
I had
renowned.
never, yeah, Uncle Julio's, and it's like it was Mexican food, dude. It was
Okay.
by God the second best Mexican food I've ever had,
Oh,
and I
really?
ended up getting, I ended up getting the pork enchilada, not enchiladas, fajitas, pork fajitas. Oh my god, it was so good, and there was so much. I ate it for like a day or two after, and I mean, I was just like, "This is." And now it was expensive. As far as Mexican food goes, it was expensive, but this is the best ever. So if you've ever been to Uncle Julio's or ever heard of it, and this is not a fast food franchise. This is like
Right.
a restaurant type thing. That was
The
the best.
the best Mexican food I've ever had. You're in Texas, first of all, for folks that
Yeah.
don't know, JJ's in Texas, so he's going to have, more choices of
Mm,
real Mexican food than I do, and I'm in
right.
Kentucky. I'm in Western
Yeah.
Kentucky,
Yeah.
so I don't have that many, but we actually do here in Western Kentucky because we have a lot of farmland.
I bet.
We have a pretty sizable Mexican population here that has come over. So we have a little more choices than other places have, like in our Walmarts. We don't just have one little section. We've got like 3 aisles of Mexican type stuff that I've never even seen before. I'm like, ooh, what's this? I want to try some white soda. This is cool. So the best Mexican. I always complain that all the Mexican restaurants around here, whether it's the Windows or the Three Friends or wherever the hell you're going, they all taste like American Mexican food. All right, whether it's
Yeah.
Los Portales or the Three Amigos or wherever you go, there's always a Portals and the Three Friends everywhere. It all tastes like American Mexican food. Well, we have a little bitty Mexican grocery store in town, in the next town over. And it's just a little bitty concrete building. And you go inside and they sell stuff catered to the Mexican population. In the back is whole shelves with all the different saints on candles for the
Okay.
Catholic population, all the different Catholic candles.
Oh, yeah,
And they have
right.
all the different Mexican
Hold
stuff
on.
that
Do
you
you ever
get.
see people driving around with those stuck on their
Yeah,
dash?
yeah, yeah.
What are you
So
people
I've seen that
doing?
before. So I've seen it before, not anytime soon or recently. But in the back of this little Mexican grocery store, they have a little grill. And this is the best Mexican food I've ever ate in my life.
Yeah.
We are normally the only white cracker people in this little Mexican grill when we
Mm.
go in. I actually used to work with a couple of the people in the Mexican community, so we've seen them there before. And we are normally, when we go in to get some street tacos or wherever we're getting from the little grill, we're normally the only white people in there. And that's where all the Mexicans go to get their food. They don't go to these Mexican American foods because I always point out, I'm like, you never see any Mexicans eating in the Mexican
Yeah,
restaurants
right.
around here. They're always
Yeah.
working. They're never eating in the restaurants. They're never sitting down as a family eating because they don't want to eat that crap. It's crap. They're
Right.
feeding to
Yeah.
us.
This isn't good enough.
So yeah, the best Mexican food I've
So
ever had come from a grill in the back of a Mexican grocery store, and it was the best I've ever had. And I've been to Mexico.
and you've been to Mexico. Well, I
And I've been
mean,
to Mexico.
I've been to parts of Mexico before, and yeah, I'd still think that Uncle Julio's is better. So
That's awesome. That's good though. That's good. That's really awesome.
how far away from you are how often do you get down to Nashville?
Nashville is
Nashville's.
like an hour and a half from me on
Oh,
a snow day.
really?
Yeah, it's really close. I go to
Oh, is
Nashville
it
all the
really?
time. Yeah, all the time.
There isn't. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, Nashville's in Tennessee. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
thinking. So
It's not very
I
far.
was just over there. I was over there looking. I was like, I wonder if there's only like 3 of them, and that's why he's
Is
never heard of it.
is
No,
there one
there's
in
an Uncle
Nashville?
Julio's in Brentwood. Uncle Julio's
And
Brentwood
Brentwood is on
in
the other side of Nashville, and
yeah.
Brentwood is the That's where all the country music stars live. They
Oh,
live
okay, makes
they
sense.
live in Brentwood. Brentwood's where all the super $1 million houses.
I was gonna ask Jordan because I know Jordan used to live in Kansas. He used to live in Texas, and he used to live in, I think, Kansas, right, Jordan? And then, am I mistaken, or did you live in Tennessee for a while? I'm not sure where you're at right now, but Jordan says Nashville is an s-hole. It is
Hey,
not a
you
great
know
place.
what? Jordan's right. I mean, I'm someone that I grew up and lived an hour and a half away from Nashville. My whole life I've been to Nashville. Hundreds of times I've been down to Nashville. I know it like the back of my hand. I know the city very well.
Okay.
He's right. It's a shithole. There's a couple of
Well,
spots that's really kind of cool, and those are the places that you stay in. You stay
I
out of
mean,
everything else.
now I've never been to Nashville, but here's
Oh,
my
Jordan
imagine.
lives in Murfreesboro. He lives in Murfreesboro. Okay. All right. That's really
Oh,
close to me.
and that's farther. We
That's
should have a
really
We should have a meetup sometime.
that's really close, man. That really is.
It's not that far.
I know
Uh,
several MCOC people that live in Nashville and around the area, Clarksville area and stuff. Yeah.
so
No, yeah, Murfreesboro's not very far from me.
well, I'm going to. Okay, so my imagination of Nashville is this: it's probably, and I don't know anything, right? It's probably a major urban area with the story of music and countryness, but it's like totally been urbanized, like
Yeah.
country
Yeah.
tradition, but
Yeah,
it's
let me
now
tell
urban.
you something. It's got country tradition, but let me tell you something about Nashville that a lot of people don't know. Nashville has an enormous rock scene.
Oh
It's
yeah,
a rock town, man. There's a lot of
well,
rock and roll bands and rock venues that you can go watch some really good music. If you're
what?
into that, it's not just that shit's
Well,
marketed. That shit's marketed. You go down to
yeah.
Second Avenue and whatnot, and Damon, what I can't remember the one name, but you get down there on Demumbrin and Second and all those, and you're going to get what they sell. The hucksters standing out on the street playing the guitar, and the bars with the open windows, and all those.
I'm catching heat from my brother in Jordan. Apparently, Jordan only lived in Kansas a few months. I don't know, man. I don't keep up with when you move and how long you moved there. I know the Schefflers all moved up north a while back.
Once you get halfway through Missouri, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, Kansas, it all just kind of blurs. You just see a tumbleweed, and if you see a tree, you just kind of rejoice and you go on about your day until you see a mountain.
Oh man. All right. Well, next time you're in Nashville, go by Uncle Julio's, and I'm gonna
All
oversell
right.
it. It's the best pork
Oh, Ashley,
fajitas I've ever
straight
had.
up, they would eat Mexican food if I did not stop them in my family, we'd have Mexican food every night. I'm the reason we don't eat Mexican food every night. So she will be more than willing to go to Uncle Julio's the next time we
Okay.
go to Nashville. If
Amazing.
you
All
rave
right.
about it, I'll
I
take a
don't
picture and
know.
I'll prove. I gotta
Good
find out.
morning, everybody.
I gotta find out where it's at now.
20 minutes talking about food. All right.
It's all right though. I like this.
Yeah, I know. Okay, and I have something fun for you too, by the way, before the show's over. At least one thing that's fun. Okay, we're gonna talk about for a moment. We're gonna talk about this McCarthy McSucks.
Yes, dude. That damn restaurant is way the shit down there.
Yeah, is it?
Oh my god.
Maybe you won't go.
God, that's almost to Murfreesboro.
Oh, hey, maybe you can order Uber Eats and just have them bring it to you.
Dude, Jordan, Uncle Julio's is like halfway to Franklin. We might have to stop at Uncle Julio's when we go down to the Renaissance Fair this year. We normally go down to just past Tennessee is this town called Franklin, Tennessee, and a lot of superstars live down there, not just country music artists. I think Taylor Swift's got a huge property down there in Franklin, Tennessee. A lot of major people have. But there's a Renaissance Fair down there every year, and we usually go to this medieval Renaissance Fair. So we'll stop by Uncle Julio's then.
Maybe you will. And maybe you'll stop in and be like, this looks pricey. I bet JJ's wrong.
It's literally like a freaking 45 minutes other side of Nashville, 30
Well,
minutes other side.
you can see their menu now. So let's see. Do they have their prices on the menu? I don't know.
Probably not.
Holy crap, they have it in Maryland? Oh. Hey, Jeremy, they got one in Arlington. Anyway.
All right, are you going to talk about some stupid political stuff?
Yeah. For just a minute.
Ian,
Okay,
did you
so
just imply it's okay to merely fly over?
did you imply Oklahoma is merely flyover country? That's more
No,
than Oklahoma
absolutely
deserves?
not. It's drive-through country,
Oh.
not flyover. It's drive-through. I'm sorry if I implied that I was flying over. I was driving through.
I got a story about Oklahoma. Not a great story, but
I've never been to Oklahoma.
Okay. I mean, and there's a lot of empty land. There's a lot of highways and byways and whatever through like nothing. And what's funny is that some of those highways that are going through nothing are toll roads. There's a big section of kind of Oklahoma where you're going. I know, right? Yeah, there's a big section of Oklahoma where you're going from like the eastern part where there's a few cities and smattering of cities, and then like you go. Oh, if you have to go way over towards the panhandle of Texas, there's some, there's a lot of nothing out there, and in the middle of there somewhere there are toll roads. So this one time, I'm driving my wife up to Oklahoma, and we're visiting her grandfather, her family, something like that. And it was around the time that maybe her grandfather was, at the end of his life. So we were during part of our drive, we ended up driving in Oklahoma at like 10 o'clock at night. Either we were going to somewhere or we were trying to get back and forth. I don't know. I don't remember what the situation was. We were on this road, and it's when it's dark in the country, it's dark.
It's dark.
There's no lights.
There's no lights.
There's no lights.
There's no ambient light around. Yeah,
no.
It's dark.
It's like
especially
you're driving
if there's no moon. If there's not a moon out, if it's cloudy, it's pitch black.
Now, add to that, you're in a car and the cabin has internal illumination because you got your console lights up.
That's already
and then
interfering with your vision.
Yeah. And you're looking out into the pitch blackness of the midnight of hell, like trying to follow the stripes on the road, because otherwise you're just going to drive into a ditch. Mm-hmm. And then add to that your co-pilot, your navigator, your wife is talking about something that has nothing to do with driving. And you're like, and trying to follow a story. I'm trying to follow your story and also this road at the same time. And I don't know where I'm going.
Make sure that you're not going to hit Bigfoot standing in the middle of the road 3 inches from you when you finally see him. Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. And then you're driving it like, I don't know, highway speeds for a small highway. So 55, whatever. But is there enough light? Is there enough illumination? Can you read the signs? No. Do you see the sign because it's made of reflective tape? And you see the sign, like, there's a sign. Oh my God, it's gone. What did it say? I don't know where I'm going. I hope I'm going the right way. And then you think that you take the right exit or the left exit, or you stay on, or you're not supposed to stay on. So I unexpectedly found myself on this road having, like, because some of the roads turn or whatever, on this road, and then I unexpectedly find myself stopped at a toll road. And I drive right up because you were about to go through the gate. And I'm like, what is this? Where did a toll booth come from? I stopped the car. Now it's late at night. There's nobody around. And I'm like, if I go through that toll gate, I know it's going to like charge me somehow, but I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know where it's going. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. So I stop the car in the road and I get my phone out, which barely works because you're like 900 miles from anywhere. Phone service barely worked. And I'm like, I don't know where we're supposed to be going, but I don't think that's right. So I ended up having to back up and turn around and go the other way on the road to get back out to the main road. So, Oklahoma, streetlights. You guys got to invent streetlights out in Oklahoma because toll roads in the pitch black ain't gonna work, guys. Okay.
We haven't had a toll road around here in 30 plus years, man. It was when I was a kid. We had toll booths.
Oh, Jeremy's informing me. He says those toll roads are usually on Indian reservation land. Those are Oklahoma's best roads because they lead to a casino. That's probably true.
Yeah,
It was a
probably.
good road, and I was like, "This is amazing! I can't believe this road is not made of dirt and rocks and pit holes." It was a good road. Okay,
Hmm.
that's my driving in Oklahoma story for what it's worth.
I've never been to Oklahoma. Never been to.
Do
I've
you
been to
like
I've been to Arkansas
do
one
you
time because
do
we
you like
crossed.
having red clay attached to the side of your car?
No.
Because that's what you'll end up with when you drive
Oh,
through Oklahoma. There's so much red clay, and it somehow just ends up like
really?
stuck on your car. Yeah, yeah. It's like if it's rainy or something like that. Yeah. That's my experience. Anyway, okay. So
Hmm.
everybody that wants to know probably already knows about the speaker thing, but those that don't know, I'm going to pretend you don't know, and I'm informing you. Uh, Kevin McCarthy is. I'm changing. We're halfway through the show.
Man, I would just like to say before you get into this, I would just like to say I spent a lot of time yesterday on the internet looking at this, and I don't see what the problem is. Bose has a really good sale going on right now, and you can get some really nice subwoofers and tweeters for really cheap. I don't understand what the problem is. Man,
Nice.
there's a couple of like musicians' friend has even got some sales going on
All
too.
right,
So I
guys.
don't. I've stayed out of this.
Nice. Nice. First of all,
Thank you.
that's very good. There's nothing wrong at all with this. This is exactly what needs to be happening, and this is what I learned yesterday because I was under the impression that hadn't happened in 100 years and it's unprecedented because that's what CNN tells you. It's not unprecedented. I went through on CBS News yesterday, and I went through, and there were like 17 different times in congressional history where there went lots of ballots, and one of them went 133 rounds, 133 rounds every day. That means they did this every day for like 2 months before they finally agreed on something. So this is exactly the way Congress is supposed to work, which is people go down the floor, make your argument, and try to make a
It
deal.
just yeah, you're right. The media just doesn't have anything else to talk about right now.
Mm-mm. And the a bunch of those were within the lifetime of the founders. So, like the 16th Congress, that would be 32 years after 1789 or so. So, 32 years within the lifespan of the
The
founders.
early
The founders
1800s.
were the founders were like 25, 30 years old, most of them, whenever they did this stuff. They were so amazing.
They were
And
in the
like, I'm
30s. Yeah.
40 and I've never done you've never done anything, especially not in your 20s, that was like as amazing as what they did, which is like revolt against England and make a new country. Um, so within the lifetime of the founders, this happened a bunch of times. So this was normal. In fact, the only thing that's not normal is that we went an entire century just passing the gavel to the winner, without any argument, or we basically Americans acted like yes sir sheep ever since World War One. So so this whole
You're
thing,
right.
I mean,
You're right.
I'm
You're right.
that's
We've been pacifists. We've been pacified by whatever. We've just been sheep
been
since about that time. Since about World War One, we've just been like, you know what, take care of us. You know what, take
yeah,
care of us.
that's
And
right.
since then, we've been kind of brainwashed into all this other crap. Because I was telling my kids one day, and we were talking about how I've got kids, with my ex, and she's got kids with her ex, and kids are going here and there, and we're having to juggle and do this. And we were talking about that one day about how, my kids' friends do the same thing. Her dad's gone this weekend, and Alex's friend's dad's gone this weekend, and blah, blah, blah. And we, as 40-year-old JJ Deacon here, we were told and beat into our brain that a nuclear family, mom, dad, boy, girl, white picket fence, June Cleaver. Then that's what we were beat into our brain, and that's not the normal anymore. The normal is your family kind of is not the normal family. The normal family
I would
anymore
say no.
is if 90% of the families out there are divorced and have divorced kids, that's the normal. That, if
Right.
90% of them are. So we were beat and we were told certain things for 100 years. And this is a great example. This pass the gavel that we were just told, we'll take care of you. Don't worry. And that was a
Yeah.
whole, looking back 500 years from now, when they're studying history, that's going to be a
Oh
major
my
study
gosh.
point in the rise and fall of America, because we read the rise and fall of the Roman Empire,
Yeah.
and when this book comes out in 300-400 years, the rise and fall of America, you're going to see, well, in the 1900s, this is what happened. They were going through some major wars, so that caused the governments to basically tell the citizens, trust us. And the citizens were like, we're going to trust you. And then some of the citizens were like, we're not going to. If you
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
back at what happened, that's what happened. You're right. You're right. I've never
Well,
looked at it that way, but you're right.
it only really occurred to me, and that realization came across as I was just hanging out with the guys and just watching this stuff. I was like, let me just go see how many times this has happened before. And I was a little bit taken aback, because it was my impression, based on I probably listening to the news somewhere, that it would only maybe 14 was the max. No. There was like the 16th Congress had 22 rounds, and like the 17th Congress had 12 rounds, and then this happened a bunch of times. And then the most was the 34th Congress. So that'd be 68 years after the founding. That had 133 rounds, which,
1830s.
yeah, so
1830s.
1855. 1855.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
your brother here says, those are speakers of the car. That's cheaper than the house.
Yeah. The speakers. And Mr. E says, trust no one. I say absolutely trust no one. So Jordan says, make America traditional again. And, I certainly get that sentiment. And, I would agree in things like you're talking about, nuclear family. I think the best thing for kids is to have two parents, a mom and a dad, right? That's the best thing. But that isn't always that isn't always what is able to be done. But I don't think that we should necessarily use powers of government to make people do that, because it's the best thing. The best thing is for people to choose to work out their problems, to stick together through thick and thin, to put their family above their own personal ambitions and aspirations. So, and in order, here's the hardest thing of all. In order to give people the opportunity to choose to do the best thing for their families, and choose to do the best thing for their children, and choose to
Okay.
stick together, and choose to find, hold on. In
I
order to
know I
give,
missed part of what you said, but
I'll recap a
Right.
little. Just give me a second. Okay. What I'm saying is, while I agree that a mom and a dad, a married couple, is the best thing for children when you're raising children.
Sometimes.
It's but it ought not be mandated that it should. The powers of government, the use of force, shouldn't be built to force people to do that. And the tough thing about being a human is this: in order to give people room to choose to do the best thing for their family, and to do the best thing, to choose, you have to give people the same amount of room to choose not to do that. And
Okay.
that means not forcing people to do things. There.
Okay.
That's all I
Right.
had to say.
If me and my ex-wife were still married, we both agree. We both had this conversation, and we are
Yeah.
me and her are very good friends. She's my doctor. Okay. Just to
Right.
let you know, just to let
Yeah.
everybody know,
Yeah.
my ex-wife is my doctor, my current physician.
Yeah.
We both agree that if we would have stayed married, it would have been, our divorce has been more beneficial to Deacon than if we would have stayed married.
And we had this conversation
Yeah, if
before.
we would have stayed married, Deacon would not be, I don't think, in the position that he's in, because me and her are better friends that we have separated,
Right.
and are divorced.
Well,
And this is something, as a divorced dad, that I have struggled and beat up myself for many, many years. For I finally just had to I had to accept the fact that I'm not doing my children a disservice because I got divorced. You know, and I don't see them all the time, because you get to see your daughters every day, and I don't. You know,
Yeah.
I don't get to see some of my kids every day, and it
Right.
sucks. You know, but I also realize that my daughter and my son, they have other people now in their lives that they can call dad and mom,
Right.
that they can rely on.
And that was
That
probably a bitter pill to swallow at some point, right? Wouldn't you think?
absolutely,
Right.
Deacon's stepdad Ryan is a wonderful guy. My ex-wife's new husband is a wonderful guy. If I had to pick a guy to be my son's stepfather, I'd pick him. He's a great guy. Love him, you know, and
Right.
great guy. But he taught Deacon how to ride a bicycle.
Right.
That was really fucking hard for me. That
Right.
particular instance was very, very hard for me. And I struggled with that for a long time. But it's just one of those things that if we get down to brass tacks, it's hard
Right.
for me and I'm upset. Why? Because I'm being selfish for something that I want. I wanted that experience. I wanted that for
Now,
myself. I didn't want it for Deacon. I wanted it for
right.
myself. My
Right.
son still got a father figure to teach him how to ride a bicycle, and he got that experience. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he got that
That's
experience.
true. So
I'm sad that I didn't get to do it, but whatever.
there there's nuance. There's a little nuance here. So it can be true that in your situation and your family situation, this is the best possible
Yeah,
result.
it's worked out great.
And it could be true that your situation and your combination of factors or whatever is unusual for people that are going through your situation.
Because of one factor.
You
You're
think?
exactly right there on one factor. We have all agreed to be adults about the situation,
Ah,
and to put our children's needs first, not our
right.
own selfish adult needs. We are all adults about the situation. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. When people don't act like adults and they become selfish, is when all of these parents, when you get bickering from one side to another, and I'm not saying everyone is selfish,
Right.
but there is some, and I'm not saying we've always got along, because there's been times that but we always realize that the children's needs are what, and not my selfish needs, not
Right.
what I want.
So I just oh, hello, Dwayne Olaf's mama. What part of government you got? Oh, I think they're talking about government
Yeah.
stuff over there for a minute. We'll get back to that in a moment. I wanted to just draw the distinction between what is true in aggregate, that
Okay.
is something that may be true on average for the mass, may not necessarily be
Right.
true at the micro level, and
Right.
and that is to say, I think I think things like the nuclear family, I think there's plenty of evidence showing, because we've had 50 years of broken families, that is, where the nuclear family split and there isn't like recoupling on both sides. You have like single parents on one side, a runaround dad, a disappeared dad, whatever. I think there's maybe plenty of evidence that the strong nuclear family where parents stayed together, or they raised their kids, was best for kids and best for families, and maybe best for society overall in aggregate. And there's not necessarily a lot of I would not say that for the people that do end up getting divorces and then going on with their lives, it's not common that there is amicable resolution on both sides, and then
Right.
yeah, so your situation is not typical. So your micro example doesn't necessarily bear out as
You're
a
right.
counter example
You're
to that,
exactly
right?
right. Yeah, you're exactly right.
So when we talk about things like nuclear family, that's talking about like the average, the overall, the aggregate kind of example. And we must be careful to acknowledge, like, yeah, that's true. That's the best thing probably for kids. But just because we think that's the best thing for kids doesn't mean that we should use the powers of government, the force of law, the force of taxes, or the forces, any other kind of forces. It doesn't mean we should necessarily use forces to cram people into that. And
Right.
and so that's what I'm saying, like like
I agree.
where and I don't even know that any Republican policies are out there like, oh, we got to like change the laws to make it harder to get divorced and harder for people to break up once they get together and stuff like that. I don't know. I think we could talk for a whole while about how like it's not really a great deal necessarily for men to get married in the modern era, because like, there's a whole lot of downsides. So I'm not saying that we should necessarily. I'm just saying we need to be careful, and that's how I feel about anything like this, which is like, you think you have this big problem. We want to make changes to things to try to change these problems, but we don't always know what the unforeseen consequences are, and
Right.
we should always be careful of the unforeseen consequences of trying to cram people into a model that you think fits when people don't necessarily work that way.
Right.
So, anyway, what part of government? Okay, so government should protect us from the so I'm not gonna dig into a fight right there. I am gonna say, okay, Speaker McCarthy. Speaker McCarthy has had I think 11 votes now. He's lost every single one. That
What do you think the number is going to be? 28?
But
17?
28. How
many times do you think they're going to vote before?
How many rounds?
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I was listening to Ben Shapiro on the way home, and he said like there's 20 holdouts, and you need like
42.
17. We need like 17 of those 20 people to sign on. About 10 of them appear to be negotiating in good faith. So today I could see and accept that that McCarthy might get 211 out of 218 votes. I can see that happening. But there's about too many people up there that are just like going to say no matter what. So I think we could be in for a long haul. I will be massively amused if we can get past 14 or 17 rounds or something like that. I mean, I find this to be great. I don't want them doing anything. So you guys take as long as you need to get this sorted out. So,
Mr. E, real quick, Mr. E, I bought my son Deacon the whole Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy 5-book trilogy. The 5-book trilogy. You'll get that if you know the Douglas Adams jokes.
So yeah, Mr. E said 42 rounds. That would be great. I would love that. That would be great. Yes, Kevin McCarthy is not the Speaker of the House. Nobody is the Speaker of the House. And we don't know who will be for a while.
Thank you. Yes. Olaf's model. We understand that. We appreciate that. That's the whole, that's our joke for the past 3 days. That's what we're talking about. How many rounds are we going to go until he's the Speaker? And we had the conversation yesterday or the day before about him moving his stuff. So yes, we appreciate you watching though.
Yeah, for sure. Deke, you may not know this because it happened in the like 4th round yesterday and during the 11th ballot. Matt Gaetz, Rep. Matt Gaetz out of Florida, had spent a couple of rounds earlier in the day doing a non-nominated vote for Donald Trump, kind of as a thing,
right?
And you were probably familiar with the theory running around like, oh, the MAGA is gonna elect Donald Trump as the Speaker of the House, as and like throw a real wrench in things, and the dream for them is that Donald Trump is elected the Speaker of the House, and then they impeach Biden and impeach Kamala, and Donald Trump returns to the presidency.
Oh my God!
Right. I mean, that's not going to happen. But what did happen is that Matt Gaetz formally nominated Trump at the beginning. So when they get nominated, their name goes on the board to collect a score. So not only was McCarthy nominated and Jeffries, and then I think they were Kern. I'm sorry, but he's one of the Freedom Caucus guys. But then Matt Gaetz actually formally nominated Donald Trump, which meant that the clerk's office at the beginning, at the end of the thing, when they read the tallies, they said Jeffries 212 votes, the Honorable Jeffries 212 votes, the Honorable McCarthy 200 votes, and then the Honorable the clerk of the House of House of Representatives had to read the Honorable Donald J. Trump, 1 vote. And it was on the scoreboard. It was amazing. It was amazing to watch. Okay. We're probably going to have more of the same today. Don't expect this to end anytime soon. There's people that are, this is all about leverage and power and negotiation. And we'll just, I say, let it take as long as it needs to. But if you're under the impression that something is broken and this is an embarrassment, you're being lied to. This is not broken. This is not an embarrassment. This is how it's supposed to work. And this is how it worked for all of the congressional history up until 1923. For the last 100 years, that's what's wrong.
I'll take that, but I still stand by what I said yesterday about how I don't appreciate I don't appreciate this. These people need to get to fucking work. You know, I don't want you sitting around for.
I get
you got 4 weeks that you actually work during the fucking year. I don't want you sitting around hee-hawing and jack-jawing about who should be in fucking charge, who's the damn foreman for 3 weeks out of the fucking 4 weeks, okay? Because I know in that 4th week you're not really going to do anything but the shit that you want to get done, and it's not going to be anything that benefits me. So quit your damn jack-jawing, get to fucking work and do your job.
Now. Under the best situation, even if they could start today, we acknowledge, right? There's no legislation this House can pass. The Democrats control the Senate. The Democrats control the White House. They can't get anything done, and if they get anything done, it won't get signed. So, like, there's the only thing that comes out of this is the power to do hearings and committees and whatever. So, like,
I just want to bitch, please. I just like to bitch.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's pivot a little bit. We got 12 minutes left, and we have some important news to talk about. First of all, we need a Jeremy Renner update, Deacon. We need a Jeremy Renner
over by a snow plow or whatever it said. Did you see? So they've released some more stuff about that.
Yeah. So apparently he was shoveling snow for his family,
right?
And he was trying to clear the road for them, and he had stepped out of his plow, and he saw it started moving. Maybe it was still in gear or something, and he tried to jump back in and stop it.
Ran over him.
And he slipped and fell or something like that, and he got run over. Lost a lot of blood, but Jeremy Renner is proving he's the strongest Avenger. This is a photo of him from the hospital bed.
I was reading where he, like, in one of those movies, he broke both arms because he was trying to jump down from these chairs and the chairs didn't move during the stunt and he fell. And like, I didn't even know anything about this. And I was watching it yesterday and I'm like, what the hell, dude? This guy's made out of fucking steel.
I think that was during the Hawkeye TV show. It wasn't even for one of the movies. It was.
I think you're right. I think it was a Hawkeye TV show.
It was the fight scene because there's in the Hawkeye show there's like the warehouse scene where he's taped up and she's taped up and whatever, and like skirmish happens with Echo. I think it was during that scene. That's when it was. I believe I have. Okay, so it's linked here. We have the Jeremy posted a video on his Twitter account.
I can't watch.
Okay.
The chat.
No. Oh, you can't watch the chat?
I gotta turn the chat off. I can't even sit there and watch this argument. I'm gonna get pissed off. All right. So Jeremy Renner posted a video. I don't give a fuck what they're talking about in the chat.
I just want to say, guys, before you murder each other in chat, please like and subscribe.
Yeah. And don't pull me in there because I don't give a shit. I just saw one word.
Update. Yeah, no, I know. It's an important update from Jeremy Renner. Here we go.
Yeah.
He's so sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
I bet he's a nice guy. I bet he's just a normal dude.
That was the first shower. I was definitely a week or so.
It's the first shower in definitely a week or so. So he's in good spirits, in good humor. Very happy to hear that Jeremy is recovering somewhat. So what's going on in chat? Seems normal. Yeah, he was getting his hair washed. He was getting a little spa treatment up in ICU. Very happy for Jeremy that he's recovering. Okay. Let me pull up some other stuff. You know what? I want to mention this story. Now, I'm not, guys, you might be shocked to learn I'm not an NFL guy. I'm not a football guy. I don't know that much. But I do recognize when dads do awesome shit to protect their children. And so I want to illuminate this story. I saw this morning. I don't know who this dude is. You can laugh or mock at me or whatever for not knowing who this dude is. But I definitely want to just acknowledge like this is some awesome shit. So Deacon,
Yes.
former NFL running back Peyton Hills in ICU after saving kids from drowning.
Awesome.
Isn't that amazing? That's
not awesome that he's in ICU. Awesome that he's still alive, and awesome that he saved kids. I'm glad that he's okay.
Yes, but this is the kind of stuff. If you're gonna have heroes in this world, it better not be a fucking movie star or a politician or anybody like that. It ought to be a dad. It ought to be a dad that will lay it down for his kids or someone else's
Somebody
kids.
else's kids.
So,
exactly right. Kids are kids,
so-
man. I see kid. Yeah, you've got that dad. That there's a switch that flips in your freaking head. It really does. I did not have that switch flipped 20 years ago, but now that switch has been flipped, and I'm a different person than I was 20 years ago. You know, I just am. And this is awesome.
I'm gonna be honest. There's probably not a day that goes by that I don't think if somebody breaks into this house, I'm gonna shoot them dead in my house before I ask any questions. Like I'm just gonna, and it could be.
I worry about my youngest daughter is fixing to be 11, and I have 3 daughters and 2 sons, and I worry about human trafficking crap all the time.
Yeah, I mean, kids get scooped up.
Person,
you know. I tend to avoid stories of murder and rape and I don't want to talk about that.
No,
right?
Like
but
that.
I see them every day. Just this morning, I saw a story about a young woman's remains were found 2 hours from where she was, missing, and that kind of stuff is like, oh my god.
Let's talk about saving lives.
Yeah. So let's talk about Peyton though. So Peyton Hills is in intensive care. Treatment for his lungs and kidneys, but doctors say his health is improving according to his uncle. His kids are safe and healthy according to the report. Peyton Hills was in Pensacola, Florida when the accident happened. He was helicoptered to the hospital and remains unconscious. So he, I guess there was some sort of a swimming accident, and because he's a dad and he's vigilant and he's watching and he's there, he got them out of the pool and he got them okay. And it may have cost him his health or injured him, and clearly injured him. He's in ICU. So, this guy could be a scumbag. He could be an awesome dude. I don't know, but either way, the fact remains what is that kids were in danger, and he got them out of danger at the cost of his own health and at the risk of his own life. So, anytime I see stuff like this, I just want to be like, "That's awesome. That is so amazing." So that instinct, that dad instinct to protect your kids at your own cost. I mean, we need that. That's what we need. That's what this whole country needs. The whole world needs that. Okay.
Good.
So
that's awesome,
I wanted to float that story. Now, not quite as important, but perhaps more important in different ways. We have this from Looper.com, endless entertainment from Looper.com. Deacon, I want to get your impression of this.
All right.
Brendan Fraser is open to returning to the Mummy franchise.
Is that a good reaction?
Yeah, that's good.
I like
maybe.
Brendan Fraser. I always have. He's George of the Jungle, man. Who can't love George of the Jungle, dude?
Brendan Fraser has something that's amazing, and I don't know what it is.
He's got the it factor, man.
He's able to convey some sort of like maybe an emotional sympathy or something like that. Like back in this day, he was an action star, right? Like he wasn't an action star; he was a comedy star.
He was on his way to being a great action comedy star, and I didn't know what happened. And you kind of don't know what happened until somebody tells you, "Where's Brendan Fraser been for a long time?" You're like, "Oh yeah, that's right." Well, then I actually looked into all those allegations and stuff. And if you haven't, I'm not going to get into it here on the show at all. But look into Brendan Fraser, what he said happened and what they did to him, and then you kind of understand where he went. And I feel sorry for the freaking guy. I feel sorry for him. I like him. He seems like a likable person.
I've not. I don't know of any allegations. My understanding is that right around the time that he started doing the Mummies movies, he has a son, and he has a son that I think is autistic or has special needs, and he
was sexually assaulted.
Oh my God!
By someone in the movie industry, and he tried to say something about it, and they basically blacklisted him.
Oh my God!
You get it? Yeah, you'll have to look into it. But he was sexually assaulted, and he said something to the guy, and said something about it because he was a young, good-looking guy, and they didn't, and they blacklisted.
He got Harvey Weinstein, huh?
Yeah, basically.
Well, Brendan Fraser is awesome, and you can probably see him now. There's a movie called Whale. I haven't seen it, but I'm gonna just bet
it looks good.
I have recent. I mean, I watched him recently in something else, but he's in Doom Patrol. He plays the voice of Robot first and second seasons, where he's playing the character before it becomes Robot. So his voice, even just to create like a sympathy and a bond. So what I'm saying is that Brendan, people that are performers that have that thing that gets you to be like, and unlike other starlets and stars in Hollywood, where they just exploit that and just become a star or whatever, for at least a portion of his life, he set all that aside and was living on a ranch raising horses with his son because his son needs attention. So I have great admiration for him. And when he comes back to camera, every time he comes back to camera, he's just fascinating to watch. So now he's older and he's a little bigger, but you can trim off some of that bigger. But I would be so down to see a Mummy resurrection of some kind without Tom Cruise, and maybe with Brendan Fraser in like a
wait a minute. Tom Cruise was in one of those freaking Mummy movies, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh
yes.
God, I hope they don't use Tom Cruise.
So please bring Brendan Fraser back. Put him in anything you can. Get him to do anything. Oh, there you go. There's Tom Cruise.
I came across something the other day for you, JJ.
Oh yes. What you got?
I was going over. I was going over movie theories. This little website had a bunch of movie theories. Okay, because I really like this one. Do you watch The Big Lebowski? Have you seen The Big Lebowski?
Oh my God, dude! I have it on HD DVD.
Okay.
I love The Big Lebowski.
Okay, here's the theory. Donnie actually died in Vietnam, and Walter was unable to cope with it. That's why he's the only one that answers and talks to Donnie, and nobody else ever says anything to Donnie. Is that Donnie died in Vietnam, and he's a figment of Walter's imagination. And I want to go back and watch the freaking movie now and use that as I want to watch it again now and use it and be like, is Donnie a figment of his imagination? Because I think he's right.
We need to have a Big Lebowski watch party.
Yeah. So I come across this one and I was like, oh my God, I gotta save this for JJ because this is so great.
Gosh.
Top Gun, hero of the movie.
Yeah.
He's flying recklessly. He puts everyone in danger to tone it down to save lives. And guess what?
Yeah.
Maverick gets his fucking guy killed. Gets his Rio killed. And on Top Gun is a shitty movie. This is me and Ashley laughed at this the other day. You have to have a hit song on the radio. We play this little game on. She'll be like, "Way to go, Mr. DJ!" Would be in the top 1% on this one. Avatar didn't have a hit rock song out on the local radio.
So yeah, it's true. So even if they were doing like a cross country scene or whatever, and the kids in the headphones in, and so it'd just be dad driving and be like pissed off, and there's no radio, and the kids listen to MP3s or something, you hear nothing. So you wouldn't have a natural music bonding experience.
Yeah, you don't get those torture your kid moments anymore where you sing part of Mockingbird and your wife sings the other part of Mockingbird.
I This happened a day or two ago, and I thought I might mention it to you, but then when I was a kid, let me say 5, 4, 5, 6, whatever, there was a song that was on repeat on the radio, and I know you know it. It's "American Pie" by Don McLean.
No.
My Miss America Pie. I heard that song so many times in my life, and I like that song a lot. So when I take my kids to school, I often will play songs for them, and for some reason they constantly want to listen to Poker Face by the Chipmunks.
Lady Gaga.
The Chipmunks, yeah, Lady Gaga's Lady Gaga song "Poker Face" by Chipmunks, and I cannot stand the Chipmunks, any of them. I don't want to hear it. It's like it's no, and they know it, and I go back and forth with my kids. I'm like, I hate the Chipmunks.
I'm gonna post this on our Discord server.
So I played their song, and then next up on YouTube, somehow it was "American Pie," and I was like, oh my gosh, we'll listen to this. I haven't listened to this in a long time, and I love this song. And my kids were absolutely like, we don't like this, and I'm like, I know you don't like it, but I don't care. We're gonna listen to it anyway. So we started playing American Pie. My Miss America. 8 minutes later, I'm like, oh my God, I never knew this song was 8 minutes long.
Yeah, it's 8 minutes long.
It's so long.
That one that one was the radio station I gotta go take a shit song. I gotta go take a shit. So I'm gonna put on American Pie, so I got 8 minutes. Hey, we didn't have we had CDs or records or something like that. So I would have to put the CD on. I had Stairway to Heaven, I had American Pie, I had Roundabout by Yes. I had several songs that were over 7 minutes long that I could play.
So
those are my pooping songs.
All right. We got we're a little over time, but
over in the Discord server, I have posted a link to a Chipmunk video that you need to watch. The Twisted Chipmunk song by this man named Bob Rivers. Bobby, many years, very famous DJ up in Seattle. And he did a bunch of funny Christmas albums on these albums. Okay. I'm telling you, I play this one every year. I have to beep out a part.
And you guys can go to Discord and check it out. And we saw one of the movies we saw, and it's got Nick Cage. And I speculated that Nicholas Hoult would be like the Dracula, the sexy Dracula, and that Nick Cage would be like the crusty old rotten Renfield.
No, I think Nick Cage is Dracula, isn't he?
Yes, I got it backwards. Check this out. Look at Nick Cage as Dracula. There's already a trailer for this, so we could watch this.
Wow, he looks good.
Yes, yeah. That age and his like craziness. Hello. Okay, I'll come right in there.
From my humidifier.
Oh, okay. Do you want to say hi to Uncle Deacon? Okay. So anyway, there's a trailer out. We could watch it, but not today. So maybe we'll watch it tomorrow. But this looks good.
I have a story for Monday too that I saw this morning about the UFO over Russia.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's fine. We'll talk about it Monday.
How UFO over Russia? Definitely not a U.S. or Ukrainian drone, right? An actual UFO.
Well, the UFO's identity is unclear. Some Russian lawmakers are claiming it was a Ukrainian drone, though other civilians.
Come here. All right. This is my girl, and she won a prize. And we'll go out on this, guys. Every year your kid probably has to sell chocolate running for the school. Well, our school that we did sold coffee to raise money to build a playground for the kids. So I was all in. I'm like, I would much rather sell coffee than chocolate. And my daughter, I mean, it's really me and mom and daughter all together. We sold more coffee than anybody else in this
work.
We sold
work, Dad.
I know. We sold more coffee than anybody else in the school, and as a result, she got a prize. Yes. Hold on.
Awesome.
Tell them the name of your bird.
Awesome.
His name's Periquito.
Periquito.
That is an awesome name. Let me see him.
Hold it up right up towards there.
That's a
yes. Oh, Periquito.
He's very handsome. That's awesome. All right.
Yes.
I like him.
It's azul.
Periquito azul.
Cool. Blue.
All right. Yes. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We are so happy that you're here. We will be back Monday morning with more amazing news. This is the best show ever, but Monday's show is going to be even better than this. So you don't want to miss it. Hit like, subscribe, follow, set notifications, do stuff. I don't know. Help me grow this thing. Let's trick people into thinking that this is a real show. We will. My wife says, it is a real show. What are you doing over there? Okay. We're out. Bye, everybody.